Hello everybody, we're streaming the day 5 of the Pranic Process Online. We're having the topic of today is about how to respect your intuition. As you notice, I don't say how to follow your intuition, I say how to respect it. Because following is one thing and respect is another thing. And I want to emphasize on this first and foremost. Respecting your intuition means paying attention to it, staying tuned to it, so staying connected, and following the guidance of it. So you see how many aspects are involved in the word respect. Hi everybody, thanks for joining. Hi Manu. Really happy to be talking about it because there's such a controversial subject. What's into respect? What is the voice of your intuition? What is the voice of your ego? When is your higher self speaking? When is your mind speaking? You know, would you like to know all this or to be able to discern between all these stuff? I would love to know if this is a subject that is interesting for you. In the meantime, as we're waiting for people to join, I'm going to tell you what this is about. This is a process of 8 days, a program of 8 days that we do periodically for 8 years. And in these 8 days, we share 8 webinars to help people raise their vibration, have practical guidance and techniques to keep their frequency high, stay connected to their higher self, stay connected to their intuition, have good health and good immunity, and take their bodies, their physical bodies, to a higher level, to an upgraded state. So this is what we're doing today. This webinar is part of the Pranic Process Online. And we are working together here for 20 minutes on Facebook and Instagram, and for about 1 hour or 1 hour and a half with our direct participants, with the people that are subscribed to this program. If you're not in this program already, don't miss it. There's a link in the description of the video if you're on Facebook, and there's a link in the bio of my Instagram account if you're on Instagram, and there you can see how you can join this whole program or just the webinar of today. So you can go there and check it out and join me for either this webinar of today of how to respect your intuition, or the full 8 days program where we learn many things that have to do with having a better life and a better lifestyle. You know, everybody wants to be healthy and happy, right? Nobody wants to be sick and poor. That's the first thing that we need to address. But everybody would like to be healthy and happy without necessarily supporting it with a daily practice. So yesterday I had a beautiful TV show speaking about the energy chakras of the planet and the energy chakras of our country. And somebody was asking me, well, it's easy to talk about health and happiness and elated states, but then you go to the office and the colleagues ruin your day, and how do you keep the happy state? And I say to all people that the health and happiness are not random state. They are a state that needs to be cultivated. You need to build up this state of happiness every day. It's a practice. It's a, if you want, a spiritual path to build your happiness, right? And there's practices and techniques that you can approach every day to maintain the state, or to be in the state. If you are waking up like normal people, turning on the news, listening to all the bad stuff that has happened everywhere, because news are only giving you the bad stuff, and then listening to maybe your mom or your colleagues or your friends giving you their bad news, because people are tempted to give you all their bad news when they feel charged, when they feel overwhelmed. And then you go to the office, and those people are also maybe grumpy or scared or worried or afraid that they're going to lose their jobs. When you're entering that type of energy field that is very present on the planet today, every day, of course, your health and happiness might go down the drain. It's not easy to maintain it in such environment. But if you cultivate your state, if you make it a daily practice to become healthy and happy, to maintain being a healthy and happy person, and include in your lifestyle the habits, if you will, it's a thing of habits, the habits that keep you in an upgraded state, habits like meditation, breath work, taking care of your body, having a lighter diet, a beneficial, nutritious diet for yourself, being aware of your thought process, and so on. If you cultivate that every day, then you can easily maintain or upgrade your happiness state, and maybe irradiate it to others. Imbue it with your emanation in the fields around you, so that your family, instead of thinking of all the bad news, they can have a better state when they're around you. So that your colleagues, instead of being desperate or worried, they can have a more confident attitude at their jobs, so that everyone around you can have a better life as a result of your presence, baby. So if you're not necessarily concerned by your own happiness particularly, you can be altruistic and cultivate your happiness for others. For example, for your family. If you're happier, your family would be happier next to you. If you're happy, your colleagues would be benefiting from that state of yours, and so many others. So if you think cultivating your happiness is selfish, like some people told me it is selfish to think of yourself, well, yourself is selfish. I mean, is self-ish. The more you stay connected to your higher self, the more centered in yourself you are. It doesn't mean you don't have compassion and kindness for others. It just means you love yourself enough to give yourself what you need. Put your safety, breath, air first in a plane before helping all the others. That means being centered on yourself, helping yourself, giving yourself what you need, and then the others around you are also healthy and happy as a consequence to your inner state. So following your intuition, respecting your intuition, which is, as I said, much more than just following it, is part of that lifestyle, is part of that daily habits that you need to include now in your life to maintain a healthy and happy state. So cultivating this, cultivating the state of listening to your inner voice, following your inner guidance, and connecting to your higher self, and staying tuned to that, because it's a constant process of fine-tunement, this is a step to health and happiness. Why? Because your higher self will always guide you in terms of what to choose for your diet, what to choose for your life, what to make as a job or career or personal mission, what partner to hook up with, and who's the people whom you shouldn't maybe meet, and so on. Your higher self knows everything. That's why the first step to health and happiness is stay connected, get in touch and in connection to your higher self. So this is what we're talking about today. I see some people joining in. Hi everybody. If you click the link in bio on Instagram, you'll find the Pranic Process Online, where you can subscribe for this full class, because we're ending the video in about 10 or 15 minutes. And on Facebook, it's in the comments. I'm placing it right now. And it's also in the description of the video. So who here is interested in respecting their intuition, in staying tuned to their intuition and hearing their guidance of their intuition? Who is interested in that? Who would like to know more maybe on this topic? Is there anyone for whom this topic is interesting, or is there something else that you would prefer to talk about? I would love to know your questions on this and insights, if you have any comments, anything like this. Yeah, and above and beyond anything else, let's just go center in our hearts. Let's just stay centered in our hearts for a moment, because that's where our intuition is streaming from. So before anything else, before I continue, let's take us on a journey over there. Let's take us on a journey in our hearts. And to hear the voice of your intuition, it is really necessary that you dwell in that self-centering place for as much as possible. So let's do this brief exercise of imagining our heart space, even our heart chakra, in the center of our chest, and breathe through it as if your heart would have a nose and you breathe through the center of your heart now. So let's breathe through there for a while. Feel how it is to feel centered in your heart. Feel how it feels to be focused on your heartbeats. Feel how good it feels to follow your breath. And feel the depth of your breath nourishing every cell now as you breathe in through your heart. And as you breathe through your heart, lower your mind in your heart, descend your mind into your heart, so that instead of listening to the voice of the mind, you listen to the voice of your intuition. So take a deep breath, imagine your mind as a field around you, and gather all this energy of your mind in the center of your head, in a twinkle little star in the center of your head. Gather it all in this twinkle little star, fully focused in the center of your head. And then descend this little star from the center of your head down into your heart space, as if it had an elevator that you push floor and it goes to the heart. And now this little star went into your heart. All the energy of your mind went and connected in the center of your heart now. So imagine how that feels. Feel, sense, pay attention to how that feels. And now and from now on, from that heart space, you can make your decisions and you can look at life. It's like you look at life now, and from now on, from the center of your heart, from this heart space, because all your mind is there now and it's connected to your heart. So everything now knows all the answers and all the solution from the heart perspective now. So try and maintain the energy of your mind in that heart space, as this is where your intuition dwells. So all the good decisions, all the insights, all the genius solutions that most of the geniuses in our era and beyond have had were coming from the heart space, from that connection to the intuition, from that connection to the higher self, to the universal field that was streaming through their mind into their hearts, and from their hearts was manifesting into the outer reality as creations, as inventions, as, you know, intuitive devices and solutions in the world. So if you look at all the geniuses like Nikola Tesla or Leonardo da Vinci, who has created this beautiful Vitruvian Man, who has the codings of all the creation from Fibonacci series to the planetary coordinates, the coordinates of the connections between the sun and planet Earth, between the moon and planet Earth, between this body shape and the pyramids, between the energy field of the human and the planetary pyramids. All that stuff is encoded in this little thing, right? All of it. It's here. And you can also see this on the cover of my book, the Pranic World book, has the same thing on the cover. And I'm gonna tell you a story about intuition. You see, it's the same thing, but it's basically made of light, so the pattern is not so clear, is not so obvious. Like here, it's well delimited, well clearer, and here it's, because it's made of light, is more fainted, but it's so beautiful as it shines as a light, right? This is the symbol of the evolved human, of the next generation species on Earth, basically. The humans that are fully connected to their body of light, as it appears here. The humans that know how to operate their energy system so that they have free energy and no need for physical food, and so that they have instant healing or permanent health and immortality. So this is what this symbolizes ultimately. Of course, so many other codes are in it, but we need to pay attention to this aspect as well. The thing is, and I was talking about intuition, I wrote this book, finished publishing it in 2018. In 2018, when I had to make the cover and I didn't know exactly what to put on the cover, in the meditation I received this image exactly as it is, and I started to look it up on the internet, and lo and behold, I found it just as it is. So I found it on the internet, and then I searched up a better version of it, and I posted it on my book cover. So I didn't know exactly what it is. It had a resemblance to something I had known as being the work of a great artist. So I was knowing about this, but I didn't know the significance of the Vitruvian Man. I've heard about it, I knew it was called Vitruvian Man, but I didn't know what is the significance of this, you know, exactly, all the encodings, all the connections. Yet I put it on my book cover, I published the book, and then soon after I start receiving all this information from all my friends, scientists, my friends who are scientists who are working on uncoding this creation of Da Vinci. So I learned that it is the symbol of human perfect proportions, connections to chakras, the connections between human chakras and the pyramids, the connections between planetary and moon coordinates, so much stuff, right? That is encoded in this little image. But intuitively, before knowing any of this, I placed it on my book cover, and it is matching exactly the information in the book, because the information in the Pranic World book is really bringing a lot of science, explaining how pranic nourishment is possible, is bringing a lot of new discoveries on the higher possibilities of the human body, is bringing a lot of information about detox, about how to upgrade your system, and it's also bringing a lot of perspectives on how several people in this world, close friends of mine, people that I worked and collaborated with, have attained the state of not needing physical food. So the book, having this information of the new evolved human and the science of it, is perfectly matching the cover of it and the symbolism of the Vitruvian Man. An intuitive decision based on no logic at all, because I knew nothing, as I tell you, that is perfectly orchestrated by the universe to match the vibration of a book. Any aspect of our lives can be like this, and I'm living my life like this for decades now, and it's something that's unexplainable to all others. And you know, for people around you, it can be hard to understand your decisions when there's no logic to it, and you can give no clear explanation for why you're making your decisions. It can be challenging for your mind as well when, for example, you choose an image for your book and you know nothing about it, yet you feel to place it there. It can be challenging. I've been challenged in so many other aspects of my life when I, for example, went in journeys like in India or other places far away in the world, that I left with almost no resources and not knowing how I'm gonna host myself there or how I'm gonna come back. You know, I only had, for example, the money for the flight. In certain times in my early years, so I did many things like this, completely intuitive, completely based on trust, all the time succeeding at figuring it out also intuitively, and always they have been extremely beneficial for my evolution. Well, now everything comes rolling at your door. You don't have to go to India, for example, to have access to this type of information, because we went there and we brought it to you from there. You know, all you have to do is click a link now and join a class. So many people, when they have to join a class like this, they try to figure out all the do's and don'ts, like how am I gonna get the finances, how am I gonna have time, you know, to put my babies to rest, to do my work tasks, blah 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 blah, when in fact your heart is just telling you that your spirit wants to evolve, that it's meant to you to move to the next step, and everything will come to you accordingly. Your finances, your time, your babysitters, or time with family, whatever, so that you have this evolution, this evolutionary moment. But if you don't trust that this will happen, and you rely on maybe having better finances in the future, or having more time in the future, or having anything you think you need in the future, all that you need now, including your evolution, is also being moved somewhere in the future and never happening, because the future does not exist. Basically, you only are here and now, and everything there is the present, and the decisions you make in the present are actually creating or shaping your future. This is how you make reality. So try to focus on your heart when you make your decisions. Try to focus on your intuition and intuitive calling, and respect it. And don't postpone things. Don't override things of your heart with your mind. And don't think that somewhere in another place in time it will be better for you to evolve, if your soul calls you to make the steps to evolve now. The only moment is now. So that was a message for someone in particular, probably in the audience. If you are there and getting goosebumps or sensations in your body, please say yes in the comments, or a thumbs up would be enough to figure out. Because I know some things like this just come along in our classes, and they just point at a specific person that I don't necessarily know, but I know the message is for them. So, intuition. What were your challenges with intuitive insights? Did you ever get challenged? Did you ever get tested to respect your intuition versus your mind? Did you ever had situations where you followed your mind instead of your intuition, and then you got some bumps into your life, consistent, subsequent bumps, and you wished you would have followed your intuition and your voice of your heart? Did you ever did the other way around, maybe following the voice of your heart, and then you've noticed that the decisions were much better than what your mind would try to scare you off with? Because the best way to know the decisions of the voice of your mind is that your mind is always sending you fear messages, like, if you do this you won't have money for that, or if you do this your colleagues or family or dear ones would disagree with you. If you do this, you're not going to be accepted in the world because you're going to be a weirdo. You know, if you start meditating and connect to other worlds, or become vaster in your consciousness, then you're not going to be normal anymore, and people around you won't accept you because you're going to be different. Or if you become pranic, I meet many people in my sessions. I do a lot of one-on-one sessions with people that are um, looking to learn to stay connected to their pranic consciousness, no? And we have a pranic process one-on-one where we have individual sessions, 7 individual sessions, where we look into the trauma, the blockages, the programming, and all the aspects of a person's life, and we detangle them so that they can stay connected, aligned, energized, and be in a pranic state, or in a state of autonomy. So we do this, and many people who are on a pranic path, who are very close to becoming full breatharians, so they're long time on coconut water, long time on water, long time on just fruit juices, many people are avoiding to stabilize into that state and be consistent in being on liquids, because they don't feel hungry, they feel relaxed, they feel easy, they feel light, they feel happy, and yet they go back and eat and binge eating just because they need to align vibrationally to the frequency of their family and dear ones. And they feel they need to do this because in their back of their minds there is this program that if I'm gonna be the fullness of what I am and the greatness of what I am, and if I'm gonna be fully nourished by prana, fully autonomous, and I'm gonna be different than my family and my dear ones, then these guys won't accept me and love me and, you know, have me in their clan anymore. So because I don't want to be deserted by my clan or rejected by my family, I want to keep myself in a lower vibration. That's what they say. I keep myself in a lower vibration, eating foods that I won't necessarily eat, or they don't do me good and I don't need, just to make sure everybody loves me and accepts me. So how many of you have had this? I want to know your yeses, because I know you're there. I feel the giggles in your heart. So many people are on this path and in this situation, right? And know that this is a program. This is not your truth of your heart. So make sure that you double check with your heart and learn and know that you can be loved and be accepted and be received by the ones who truly love you, because the ones who truly love you should love you as you are, not as the version that they want you to be. So the people that don't accept you as you are, all right, yes to all, says Christopher. Okay, so the ones who don't accept you as you are and don't welcome you fully with the greatness and the weirdness and the unicorn in the closet that you are, those are not really loving you, right? Those are the ones who are trying to control you and accept you just if you fit their this manual description of what a normal human should be. But you're not a normal human, and take my word for it, normal is boring. Like, who here wants to be normal? Type yes if you want and no if you don't want. Who here wants to be normal? I'm having fun with this. Yeah, normal. And who exactly knows what normality is? Who did the norms on the planet Earth? Who said what's normal and what normal is? I want to know that as well. So yeah, Chris doesn't want to be normal. Yeah, I didn't want to be normal ever. I didn't strive to be abnormal, but I did have many people in my life saying all the time, like, you're not normal. And they weren't saying it in kindness, they were saying it in uh, the terms of, they were scared of me. And yet, lo and behold, I keep my path. Why? Because I follow the voice of my heart, I follow the voice of my intuition, and those people who were saying to me, you're not normal, now are loving me to the fully. I am loving me to smittens, just because they just got used to awesomeness. Okay, I'm not the most modest people today. And in general, I'm not very modest, I must admit. But then modesty is again a spiritual concept. Modesty is again a spiritual concept that people have constructed for people to be humble, and for people to dim down their light, and for people to conform, be in a state of conformity, as somebody says, Aaron says here, opposite to conformity. So if you are humble, you conform to what the people around you are used to, and conform to their lack of greatness, so that you don't scare them off, and you play humble and play dimming down your light just to fit some spiritual patterns and to be accepted. Again, I am not humble. I just humble myself in front of divinity, and lo and behold, then I discover I am divinity. So it's again a never-ending circle, right? But there are instances when my heart is really humbled by the beauty and the infinity of creation, by the vastness of the universal field. I am humble, of course, in front of that, but I'm not humble to people. No, sorry, I'm not. And when there is greatness in my field, I acknowledge it in myself and others, and that's part of following the heart of your intuition, the voice of your intuition. And it's part of being, as Aaron says, authentic and genuine. Yeah, and it's part of being opposite to conformity. So not normal is intuitive. Not normal is, you know, in harmony with the universal field. You're not weird, you're just different. And I tell to people that come into my field, many people at the beginning are shy to be around me, because I tend to, but my field tends to bring up the greatness in them, but also the hidden corners in them, the places in them that they don't necessarily for some reason, this just went away. The places where they don't look, that's what I meant, they are faced with the places in them where they don't look, the places with them that they hide from, and the greatness in them that they hide from, or the evolutionary step that they need to make in order to be to the next level. So some people are shying away from opening at the beginning because they don't want to go there, they don't want to go in that depth, they don't want to make the next step. But after some time, if I'm patient and open to that specific friendship, they eventually tell me, you know, I was shying away at the beginning because you were bringing up aspects in me that I refused to look at, and you were bringing up sides in me where I didn't want to acknowledge myself and embrace or shine my light in. And eventually, all people that accept this energy end up making the next step, moving forward from where they are, and embracing this type of energy because it is beneficial for them. Somebody says, I'm not humble to people. I like it. Yeah, humble to people means bowing down to their wants and needs, and to their somewhat necessity for you to dim down. That's not what I encourage. So, voice of your intuition versus voice of your mind. Any questions on this? Any questions on how to respect your intuition? Any questions on how to stay tuned to your higher self? This, before we complete in about 5 minutes, we can address your questions or comments, if any. Do you want to ask or add anything before we complete? Please note that the class link, as you're new, some of you are just joining, please know that the link for the class is in the comments, in the description of the video on Facebook, and also in the bio on Instagram as an events page where you find the Pranic Process Online. So join the whole thing or join the webinar of today. We are doing today a very powerful meditation to connect and enhance your intuition towards the end of the video. So this is what we're gonna have included in this webinar. If you want to tune to that, tune into the whole thing. And for the ones asking, the webinar is 45 euros and the full class is 333. The number of 333 is a number in my classes and sessions that is the energy of ascended masters, because the class is held in the presence and the overlet of ascended masters, and it's also the number of divine feminine. So that's why you're going to see it a lot in my classes and individual sessions as well, and so on. So this is how you can join. Basically, this is the exchange for this thing. Okay, go ahead and place your comments and questions for the next 2 minutes, anything that needs to be added or asked, and then we complete with you on Zoom and Facebook. Thank you. And the ones who can't place the comments in the comments area for some reason, because somebody's saying that doesn't have access to the comments, some do have access to the comments and I see your comments already. If you can't have access to the comments, just write me a message in direct message. That's another solution for the ones on Facebook that for some reason can't access the comments. Try that. So direct message on Messenger and tell me what you need to say. Speak out your voice. Yeah, somebody's saying, oh, we don't have access to the comments. There must be a reason for this that is happening for you. I don't know. The others have posted comments. Make sure you try and send direct message with your comment or question so that it gets addressed. Anyone on Insta having any comments? Anyone on Zoom, any comments? Anyone anywhere, any comments? I see some of you, yeah, are commenting already. Yeah, thank you for your thumbs up and encouraging this and feedback. Okay, so if that's that, thank you, Chris, and thank you everyone for watching and commenting and posting and answering and interacting. It's been great sharing this moment with you. Hope to see you someday in one hour, and thank you so much. Hope to see you someday in our classes fully to have more fun with you than we have now, because in meditation we have the most fun. Because in meditation we are far beyond the mind and way deep down in our intuition. And if there is some financial or time-based reason that you don't come along, just tell us in a message and we'll arrange a payment plan or arrange for you to have recordings for the sessions that you can't join and stuff like this. I mean, we're being flexitarians. Before being breatharian, we have to be flexitarians above and beyond all. Big hugs. May you always hear and follow and respect your intuition, and see you soon whenever that is. Thank you for being here.